They ordered a $1,500 dinner. I ordered a salad and left. The leather folder hit the pristine white tablecloth with a soft, ominous thud. It sat there, right in the center of the table, like a loaded handgun that everyone was trying desperately to ignore. I took a slow sip of my ice water and watched the performance begin. It was a ritual I knew better than the back of my hand. To my left, Brad suddenly found the ceiling architecture fascinating. To my right, Sarah began digging frantically through her purse, muttering something about looking for lip balm. Across from me, Kevin, who had just finished devouring a 40-ounce tomahawk ribeye, was engrossed in a text message that I knew for a fact he wasn't reading, because his phone screen was dim. The waiter, a young guy named Marcus who looked exhausted, hovered a few feet away. He knew the dynamic. He had seen us order. He had seen who ordered the MP market price seafood tower and who ordered the tap water. Naturally, his eyes flickered toward me. In the ecosystem of my friend group, I am the apex payer, the human ATM, the walking, talking Chase Sapphire reserve card. Usually, this is the part where I sigh, feign a little annoyance, and reach for my back pocket. I would slap down the metal card, make a joke about writing it off as a business expense, and absorb the $1,200 blow to my net worth. The tension would vanish. The laughter would return. They would pat me on the back and say, "You're the man, Mike," or "We'll get the next one," knowing full well that the next one is a mythical event that exists only in a parallel universe. But tonight was different. Tonight, my back pocket was empty. I didn't reach for the check. I didn't make eye contact with the waiter. I just leaned back in the plush velvet booth, crossed my arms, and let the silence stretch. It grew heavy and thick, suffocating the table. 10 seconds passed, then 20. Finally, Kevin looked up from his dark phone screen. He gave me that familiar, expectant grin, the one that usually preceded me buying a round of shots. "So," Kevin said, nodding toward the black folder. "What's the damage, Mikey? Did we break the bank?" "I don't know," I said calmly. "Why don't you check?" Kevin's smile faltered. "Oh, I mean, are we doing the usual?" "The usual?" I asked. Sarah chimed in, her voice high and tight. "You usually handle it. Since, your bonus came in last month, and you picked the place." I hadn't picked the place. Sarah had picked it. It was the Gilded Steer, a trendy downtown steakhouse where the lighting is dim, the music is loud, and a side of mashed potatoes costs $18. "Actually," I said, my voice steady, "I didn't pick the place. You did, Sarah. And as for the bill," I patted my jacket pockets dramatically. Left side, right side, back pants pocket. I froze. I widened my eyes. I put on the performance of a lifetime. "Oh no," I whispered. The table went dead silent. The kind of silence you hear in a courtroom before the verdict is read. "What?" Brad asked, his voice cracking. "What? Oh no." "My wallet," I said. I think I left it in my other suit jacket. I changed right before I came here. I looked around the table, meeting their eyes one by one. Panic was beginning to set in. Real visceral panic. "You're joking," Kevin said, a nervous laugh escaping his lips. "Classic Mike. Good one. Seriously though, grab the check, man. We're gonna be late for the club." "I'm not joking, Kev," I said. "I have my ID in my phone case, but my cards, my cash, they're all in the brown leather wallet sitting on my dresser at home." I watched the blood drain from Kevin's face. I watched Sarah stop breathing. To understand why witnessing my friends on the verge of a cardiac event brought me such profound joy, you have to understand the economics of our friendship. I work in fintech. I've done well. I'm not Bezos, but I'm comfortable. My friends Kevin, Brad, Sarah, and a rotating cast of their significant others are comfortable too. They aren't destitute. They drive leased Autos, wear designer sneakers, and go to Coachella every year. They have jobs. They have credit cards. But somewhere along the line, about 5 years ago, a precedent was set. I paid for a celebratory dinner when I got my first big promotion. It was a generous gesture. Then it became a habit. Then an expectation. Finally, an entitlement. I became the subsidy for their lifestyle creep. If Mike was coming to dinner, they ordered the good wine. If Mike was at the bar, they ordered the top shelf scotch. If Mike was booking the Airbnb, they wanted the one with the hot tub and the view, promising to Venmo me later. A promise that had a default rate higher than subprime mortgages in 2008. I didn't mind treating them occasionally. I value generosity, but I despise being played. The breaking point happened 2 weeks ago. I was in the bathroom of a dive bar washing my hands. Kevin and Brad walked in, not realizing I was in the stall. "Man, I really shouldn't have ordered that third round," Brad had said. "My credit card is maxed out." "Relax," Kevin had laughed. "Mike's here. Just wait him out. He hates looking cheap. He'll pick up the tab if we just stall long enough. He always does. It's like a tax he pays for being the successful one." They laughed. They high-fived. I stood in the stall, staring at the graffiti on the door, feeling a cold, hard knot form in my stomach. A tax. They didn't see me as a friend. They saw me as a walking discount code. That night I paid the tab. But I began planning for tonight. Tonight was supposed to be a catch-up dinner. But when I arrived, I noticed something. The ordering strategy was aggressive. Even for them. Kevin had started with the oysters Rockefeller, $36. Then the Wagyu Carpaccio, $42. For his main, the Tomahawk, $145. Sarah had ordered a bottle of Camus, $180, for the table, which she proceeded to drink 3 glasses of, while I had one. Brad had ordered the lobster mac and cheese as a side dish, $38. I, on the other hand, had ordered a Caesar salad and a glass of tap water. "On a diet, Mike?" Kevin had teased me earlier, cutting into his steak. "Live a little. You can afford it." "Just not that hungry," I had replied. Now, looking at the check that lay between us, I knew the math. I had done a mental tally. The bill was easily north of $1,200. My portion of that, the salad, was $14. "Okay," Brad said, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Okay, no big deal. Does anyone have Apple Pay set up?" "I don't," I lied. "I never linked my new cards." "My limit is almost hit," Sarah whispered, staring at the tablecloth. "I have maybe 200 available." "I can't put this on my card," Kevin snapped. "Lisa checks the statements. If she sees a $400 charge for a steak dinner on a Tuesday, she'll kill me. We're saving for a house, Mike. You know that." "I know, Kevin," I said sympathetically. "That's why I was surprised you ordered the tomahawk, and the scotch, and the appetizers." Kevin's face turned a blotchy shade of red. "I thought, well, I assumed." "You assumed I was paying," I finished for him. "Well, yeah," he exploded. "You always pay. It's your thing. You make 10 times what we make. And that obligates me to buy your steak?" I asked, my voice dropping an octave. "Is that how this works? I'm not a friend. I'm a sponsor." "That's not what I meant," Kevin backpedaled, looking around to see if other tables were listening. They were. "It's just, you know the situation. We're all tight right now." "If you're tight," I said, leaning forward. "Why did you order a $180 bottle of wine, Sarah?" Sarah flinched. "I thought we were celebrating." "Celebrating what?" I asked. "It's Tuesday." The waiter, Marcus, cleared his throat. He had returned to the table. "Is everything all right, folks? Ready to settle up?" He looked at me. I looked at Kevin. "My wallet is at home," I announced to the waiter. "I won't be able to cover the check tonight. My friends here will be splitting it." Marcus turned his gaze to Kevin. "One check, or split 5 ways?" "Split," Kevin croaked. "Definitely split." "Actually," I interrupted, "can you split it by item? I had the Caesar salad. I'm happy to figure out a way to pay for that. Maybe I can Venmo one of you. But I'm not paying for the tomahawk or the wine I didn't drink." Kevin looked at me with pure betrayal. "You're gonna make us itemize?" "I'm just paying for what I ate, Kev. Isn't that fair? Since we're all tight right now." Marcus nodded. "I can do that. It'll take a minute." He took the folder and walked away. The atmosphere at the table shifted from panic to hostility. "I can't believe you," Brad hissed. "You're really going to hang us out to dry like this? Over a wallet?" "It's not about the wallet, Brad," I said. "If I had my wallet, I still wouldn't pay for this. Not tonight." "Why?" Sarah asked, tears actually welling up in her eyes. "Why are you being so mean?" "Because 2 weeks ago," I said, looking directly at Kevin, "I heard you in the bathroom at O'Sullivan's. I heard you call me a sucker. I heard you say my generosity was a tax I pay for being successful." Kevin's mouth opened, but no sound came out. He looked like a fish on a dock. The color drained from his face so fast I thought he might faint. Kevin stammered. "Mike, I was drunk. It was a joke. It was the truth." I said. You don't respect me. You respect my credit limit. The waiter returned. He placed 5 separate receipts on the table. He handed me mine. $15.12, he said. I pulled a crumpled $20 bill from my front pocket, the only cash I had brought. Keep the change. Thanks for the service. I stood up. Wait, Sarah said, looking at her receipt. Her hands were shaking. Mike, mine is $300. I literally don't have it. My card will decline. Call your parents, I suggested. Or maybe Kevin can spot you. He's saving for a house, so he must be good with money. Mike, please, Kevin begged. He was looking at his own receipt, which was well over $400. I can't do this. Lisa will see it. Can't you call someone? Apple Pay? Anything? I'll pay you back. I swear. Like you paid me back for the bachelor party? I asked. Like you paid me back for the cabin rental in Tahoe? Like you paid me back for the concert tickets? Kevin looked down. I think you guys need to figure this out, I said. And hey, look on the bright side. The food was delicious, right? I buttoned my jacket. I felt lighter than I had in years. I'm leaving, I said. Don't contact me until you've paid off your tabs. And frankly, don't contact me after that either. I turned and walked away. As I reached the hostess stand, I heard the commotion starting behind me. Sir, this card was declined. I heard the waiter say. Try it again. Sarah's voice shrilled. It has to work. I need to call my bank, Brad was saying, his voice rising in panic. There's a fraud alert or something. Sir, a manager's voice joined the fray. If you can't pay, we're going to have to call the police. This is theft of services. We're not thieves, Kevin shouted. Our friend, he just left. I pushed through the heavy oak doors and stepped out into the cool night air. The city sounds, honking taxis, distant sirens, the chatter of pedestrians, sounded like a symphony. I pulled out my phone. I had my Uber app open. My credit card was, of course, linked and perfectly functional. I ordered an Uber Black, because I could afford it, and because I deserved it. While I waited on the curb, my phone started vibrating. Kevin calling. Sarah calling. Text from Brad. Dude, come back. The cops are here. Text from Kevin. Mike, please. I'm sorry. Just Venmo me $500. I'll do anything. I looked at the notifications. I watched them pop up, one after another, desperate digital flares from a sinking ship. I thought about the years of I got this. I thought about the thousands of dollars I had poured into these friendships, thinking I was watering a garden, when I was actually just filling a bottomless pit. I swiped left. Delete conversation. I went to settings. Block caller. A sleek black Suburban pulled up to the curb. The driver, a guy named Ahmed, hopped out and opened the door for me. Good evening, sir, Ahmed said. Heading home. Yeah, I said, sinking into the leather seat. But can we stop at In-N-Out on the way? I'm starving. I only had a salad for dinner. You got it, Ahmed smiled. As we pulled away, I glanced out the back window. Through the glass front of the steakhouse, I could see the scene unfolding. A police cruiser had just pulled up, its lights flashing silently against the expensive facade. Inside, I saw Kevin gesticulating wildly to a uniformed officer while pointing at the empty seat where I had been. It was a beautiful view. I sat back and closed my eyes. I knew that tomorrow the guilt might try to creep in. I knew that mutual friends would call me an asshole. I knew that I would be painted as the villain who abandoned his friends to the wolves. But tonight I felt great. I realized that for the price of a Caesar salad and a $20 bill, I hadn't just bought dinner. I had bought my freedom. I had severed the dead weight that had been dragging me down for half a decade. The phone buzzed one last time before I put it on Do Not Disturb. A Venmo request from Sarah. Request. $300 for dinner. Please, Mike. I laughed. I opened the app, declined the request, and typed a short note. Transaction declined. Insufficient friendship funds. Then I put the phone in my pocket, leaned back, and watched the city lights blur by, looking forward to a burger that I would pay for, eat, and enjoy entirely on my own.